Hello, my name is Anthony Slavinsky, and my educational thinker was Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas was born in 1225 near Aquino, Italy. He was forcibly removed from a Benedictine monastery by his family and enrolled in the University of Naples, where he joined the Dominican order in the Catholic tradition. He goes on to study, teach, and set up a school in France, after which he bounces between Italy and France until his death on his way to the Council of Lyons in 1274. In the meantime, he writes many major works. The most influential writing is titled Summa Theologica. Summa Theologica is a systematic presentation of Christian doctrine. His writing becomes the official teaching of the Catholic Church under Pope Leo VIII, and Aquinas is prominent in the scholastic movement of the time. This is coming out of a time in history when Aristotle's teachings on reason are coming into play in Europe, and faith and reason at the time aren't even a thought to be coupled together. So Aquinas' work does a lot of there's a lot of labor involved bringing these two together. We look at Aquinas' individual work in a distinct manner, and we call it Thomism. So he does a lot of work in marrying faith and reason. And something important here is that reason can demonstrate God's existence, but reason is never our basis for faith. However, we should reason about and for our faith. Aquinas writes about 5 ways to demonstrate the existence of God. We call this the cosmological argument. The first argument is from motion to an unmoved mover, and the second from effects to a first cause, from contingent being to a necessary being, from degrees of perfection to a most perfect being, and the fifth one, from design in nature to a designer, which is also the teleological argument. But Aquinas held that all knowledge begins in experience. Also, that the order reason produces in its own acts is logic. Some notes on Aquinas' Thomistic thoughts on God is that God's a necessary being. God cannot not exist. He cannot change. His essence is identical to his existence, and he is also morally perfect and infinitely wise. God created the world out of nothing, ex nihilo. There was no time before God created, hence his eternal nature, and time was created with the world. Aquinas defines 4 kinds of laws. There's eternal law, which are the plans by which God governs creation. There's natural law, and we see the participation of rational creatures in eternal law here. Human law is natural law localized to just small communities. And divine law, which is God's law revealed to us through Bible, through Scripture and the Church. His influences on education, according to Osman and Craver, out of the Evangelical Theological Dictionary, Thomism fosters a purpose for education which seeks the quote-unquote perfection of the human being and the ultimate reunion of the soul with God. He goes on to tell us that learning occurs in spiritual, rational, and moral development. Development of rational thought is important in exercising free choice. Thomist epistemology suggests coming to knowledge through our senses is a necessary condition of learning. However, coupled with reasoning, is imperative for the development of critical thinking. The teacher's role is to support in the acquisition of knowledge. It's kind of like a doctor-patient relationship. The example there that the doctor cannot give their good health to the patient, nor can a teacher just give their knowledge to the student. So there's a support in the acquiring of it through senses, and Aquinas was valuable overall in stabilizing Christian doctrine at the time, leading into the Renaissance period and establishing schools. He becomes named patron saint of Roman Catholic schools in the late 1800s. And this comes after industrialism, where we see a lot of unanswerable questions through philosophy can be answered through Thomism in regards to human dignity. Thomism sees a renewed interest then through the mid-20th century. This has been Thomas Aquinas. Thank you.